Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the Intuitive Hour, Awaken Your Inner Voice. I'm your host, Michelle Beltran. Thank you once again for carving out this time to spend with me for the next 30 minutes or so as we step into a very exciting topic, the meaning of ear ringing. I have been asked what the meaning of ear ringing is time and time again, and I'm so excited to finally get a chance to really talk about this topic at length. Before we begin, however, I want to just make a quick announcement. I am so delighted to receive the many email suggestions about episode topics. Thank you so much for sending them. You have been heard, and that is very helpful. Keep on, keep on. I hope to get back to a more regular schedule of 2 to 4 episodes a month later in the year. We are growing and growing, and so there's lots of psychic development, online learning, and client sessions coming in. That seems to be filling lots of time of late. So thank you all for your patience, and I appreciate the love and support through emails and calls regarding the Intuitive Hour. And again, we expect to be back on a regular schedule with more readily posting episodes and so forth later in the year. All right, so getting to the topic today, the meaning of ear ringing. All right, so you may be noticing that ear ringing happens at various times in your day. Let's explore exactly what that means. The very first order of business, however, on this topic is the fact that ear ringing can actually be related to a medical condition called tinnitus, which occurs on the heels of hearing very loud sound. This might be experienced having just heard especially loud music, or having been near or around equipment or machinery where there is excessive piercing noise. So please do be sure to visit with your doctor first and foremost to rule out that you have this condition ongoing. All right. So as you begin to experience ear ringing, as it comes in at various junctures in your day, perhaps in meditation, as you wake, just randomly throughout the day, you may notice that there's a very powerful energy essence when this happens. What I mean by this, you may notice that it's mysteriously soothing. You might feel a warm whooshing sensation throughout your head. Accompanying this, there may be a sense of knowing that you're receiving a high-level message. It makes you pause and reflect. You want to really be sure to tune into this when this feeling as that happens, this soothing, this warming or whooshing that you may have. This is your soul speaking to you. In other words, your subconscious trying to get your attention. Be especially aware of moments of synchronicity, or where you find yourself saying, "Wow, what a coincidence." Anything unusual or out of the norm would also stand out to you at these moments. So pay attention. All right, so let's take a look now at why exactly ear ringing happens. Transformation, spiritual transformation. You're raising your vibration and connecting with universal forces. That is one of the most common reasons as to why ear ringing happens. You are smack dab in the middle of a spiritual transformation. Ear ringing during spiritual milestones like this is a clear sign you are in a process of awakening or spiritual ascension is happening. So taking this just a step further, what does that mean really? Well, if you'll think about it, if you look upon the last year especially and reflect back, there is a lot going on with our planet today. In lots of ways. We've had the last year of COVID. We've got social and political and environmental shifts happening. All of these global matters hold energy. Think of it like ever-changing energy frequencies, which are fast-tracking energies on Earth. This ripples into our own energy field much like a wave. Sometimes these energies come in more frequently, like clusters or groups, if you will, but they can be quite random and catch you by surprise. So it turns out that our energy bodies are actually affected by these greater energy changes globally. We feel them. Many of us are also way more energetically sensitive and aware and can pick up on these subtle shifts. Everyone has levels of abilities, levels of tuning into energy, and some of us are just extra sensitive. So we feel this. This awareness brings a greater connection with the divine and outer cosmos, and we are better able to sense other dimensions and any communication within. So ringing in the ears, like seeing repeated numbers, 444 or 111, repeated waking at exact times, 2 a.m., waking at exactly 1:11 a.m., whatever it is for you, this and other ascension signs is a loud and clear signal to your higher consciousness that an awakening is happening. All right, moving on. Epiphany-like downloads. Another reason as to why we would experience ear ringing. Ear ringing will come in right before or after a spiritual download of some kind. And so the next very important question here is, what exactly is a spiritual download? Essentially, it's when you receive a flood of high-level information at one time. A musician or a singer, for example, could receive the lyrics to a new song. Downloads may be conceptual in nature. For example, you may have a work project or even a family matter that is lingering and unresolved. You experience the ear ringing, and later the right plan or perfect few words to resolve that situation just drops right in out of seeming nowhere. These downloads can come in intuitively during meditation, a dream, a vision, in a daydream, or just randomly while you're fully awake, perhaps out on a walk. All right, so how exactly do you know when you're having a download? Yet another good question you might be asking. So you want to pay very close attention to your body. That's how you know. You'll know your body better than anyone, right? So take heed and notice if you're having any unusual sensation in your body. You might even notice repeated sensations exhibiting in a pattern-like fashion. The more clarity you have within your body, the more you will recognize and then receive higher messages to guide you. When I'm receiving a download, I often experience tingling in my hands. That's how I know. So you'll want to pay attention to similar body sensations that come to you. Everyone will be unique. There's no right or wrong. It could be chills, increased heat, vibration in an area of your body, tingling much like I experience, or even a touch sensation somewhere on your body. Pay attention to what you're feeling emotionally as well. Do you feel moments of bliss, joy, gratitude, or even euphoria out of the blue? Spiritual downloads will bring an intense flood of these kinds of emotions as well. Be mindful that you could also receive a deep sense of calm or peace when this happens. And finally, pay attention to what thoughts you're thinking. Often, what we think are thoughts are actually high vibration pockets of download. So be mindful of what you were thinking in the several moments prior. All right, energy upgrades. Another reason why ear ringing will come in. Our energy bodies change and grow just like our physical bodies. We can start to perceive high frequencies when our energy body, chakra system, or our aura experiences a kind of level up. Each chakra and each aura layer are very unique in color, but each also carries a specific energy frequency. This is precisely why healings, meditation, and continued energy work is so important. We want to be sure to create harmony within our chakras and aura as they get bogged down from time to time, and physical symptoms and ailments will then begin to occur. Physical ailments are absolutely a result of stuck energy. So spiritual tools like grounding, running energy, and neutrality, all of which many of you have already listened to and explored here on the Intuitive Hour, these fundamental tools can help you balance energies and alleviate these physical symptoms so that they no longer disrupt your day. The stuck energy, that is. Remember that in the same way that our physical bodies might experience a dietary or nutritional detoxification process that we might choose to engage in from time to time, our energy bodies do the very same. Okay, moving on here. Your clairaudience ability is expanding. And so, as a result, you might experience some ear ringing. As many of you listening in probably already know, clairaudience is a German word. It means clear hearing, and it's directly connected to your fifth chakra. This chakra is blue in color, spinning like a disc. Your actual simple attention to this space in and of itself, just giving attention to that area helps to open this up. But as that clairaudience ability is expanding, you're going to notice some ear ringing for sure. Those of you with this ability can hear beyond normal day-to-day sounds. You tune into those high-pitched frequencies, and hence you're going to have some ear ringing that's going to come in from time to time. You may feel as if you hear sounds inside your head or outside your head. In other words, you may receive an outer physical sound or an inner non-physical sound. An outer physical sound may represent much like a human voice. There have been occasions when I have actually heard a voice of a family member or friend, a sibling. I've heard their voice actually call my name as clear as if they were standing right next to me. And of course they weren't, but it's that clear as if they were right there, and I hear it outside my head. This is an example of something coming in that way from the outside. Remember, these vibrational messages of hearing come from love and grace. Welcome them and ask for the meaning, and there is nothing to fear in this. It can be a little bit startling. The same with the outer ear ringing. It is coming, however, in love and grace, and nothing to be afraid of. That inner non-physical sound is much more subtle and is more likely to happen, and it sounds a little bit like mind talk, hearing yourself talk. So you may also hear the ear ringing come in that way. You'll notice that as your gift grows, you become more sensitive to sound. As this ability developed for me, I often heard ear ringing and whooshing sounds. Also, for a time, it was necessary for me to actually sleep in earplugs because even the slightest of sound would wake me. I might even feel a vibration sound through my body. These sensations you too may experience. Again, they are something to welcome and just part of your clairaudience expanding. Ringing in the ears is a classic sign that your clairaudience gift is opening, or that you're experiencing a recalibration or an upgrade in your development of your clairaudience. Our psychic gifts are constantly growing and fine-tuning, so welcome this in. It is most certainly a connection to your own awakening of your intuition through your ear chakras. All right, moving on. Ear ringing correlates with a good result coming your way. That could be the simple meaning. Simply some good news coming. So expect that, some good news on the horizon. If you're hoping to hear about a financial windfall or a job offer, a home purchase, some good health news, pay attention to that. Perhaps there's been a struggle with a major life decision, a career move or change, feeling stressed or lost about a relationship and how to navigate that next. Whatever the case may be, ringing in the ear is an indication positive resolve is ahead. So expect that. Be open to the good news on the horizon. All right, someone is in thought of you. Literally, in this moment of ear ringing, it could be meaning that someone is in thought or speaking of you. Think of this in the highest of vibration, though, and recognize that this mention can come in different ways. This speaking of you by someone else can come in different ways. First, someone you know holds you in a high regard and is speaking fondly of you, offering praise. Or a person in your life holds envy, is prone to some kind of gossip-like expression, or your spirit guides. They're present. They're letting you know that you're the topic of someone else's conversation. Spirit guides will do this from time to time so that you're mindful to connect with those who are the best match to you. Okay, so one of those three ways would be the way that this may present. This kind of ear ringing happens shortly before or after you've made a new friendship or began a new relationship with someone you feel a deep connection with, entrusted or shared meaningful conversation with, or information with. So pay attention to that timing piece connected to when this happens. All right, moving on. Ear ringing can be a warning, but this is a good thing. Meaning, this warning is a particularly positive piece of information for you, right? We don't necessarily always associate warning with a good thing, but in this case, that's how I would like you to look at it, and here's why. Let's say you just put in an offer on your dream home. Within minutes, you hear ear ringing. So this could be a warning for you to reconsider that offer or take a deeper look at the structure of the home, for example, for some hidden issues. So you can see here how ear ringing is a gift in that it alerts you that something is amiss, even though you can't see it in this very moment, and it redirects you in a new direction. Your spirit guides may also be guiding you to hold out for something better, as an even better opportunity may be ahead, right? So see this as a good thing and an opportunity to shift direction to something more positive for yourself, a better decision. Warnings can be a good thing. All right, having said that, sometimes a situation may not go your way. That's just life. And so ear ringing may come in on one of these occasions. Sometimes ear ringing is bittersweet. Simply put, it means something may not go as planned. So, take some time, give some reflection to the bigger issues in life that you're facing, that you feel like may be holding you back. Deep down, we know when something isn't meant for us or isn't likely to work out in our favor. Tune into that knowing. If you find yourself forcing or pushing too hard to make something happen, it likely just isn't meant to be. So surrender to that, let it go. Recognize that, yes, indeed, sometimes things may not quite go the way we intended. Say hello to that truth, embrace it, and heed this ear-ringing message to just let go and move on. All right, taking just a little bit deeper of a look at your life here. I want to ask you to just recognize that your spirit guides and your higher self will keep you on track. And ear ringing, particularly during meditation or at the wee hours of the night, is an invitation to go within and ask yourself, am I living that life that I want to be? Am I living that life that is honoring my soul? Ear ringing can happen at times when you may not be. This kind of ear ringing happens at what we call transition times. Perhaps you feel bored, like you're spinning your wheels or wanting more for yourself or more for life. At this juncture in your life, you expected more. This can be triggered by receiving unfortunate news. Regardless the case, ear ringing at these times of transition is a strong message to re-examine and plan anew. Reconsider your life course. Take a deeper look at where you are. Take a deeper look at expectations for yourself ahead. All right, connecting with spirit guides, angels, and higher forces. As you fall in and out of sleep or in meditation, you may experience ear ringing. This may be your spiritual team coming through, your spirit guides, angels, or higher forces. Spirit guides are uniquely able to help us when intuition sometimes is not. This is because spirit guides know all that has been and is now going on in your life. They're here to help you. They are entities that may or may not work in concert with other guides on your behalf. They may appear to have male or female characteristics, but they're really not male or female. They're just energies here working for us and with us. Welcome them in. Your spirit guides will communicate in unique ways. They may come across through thought. Know that their connection with humans is always gentle. It is always here for you to guide you. The best way to think of spirit guide connections is to think of them as messages with direction. They will be messages that will guide you and give you insight. You might feel a sense of the light bulb going on. Perhaps just a pure sense of, yes, that resonates. A sense of knowing. If your intuition is guiding you that this may be a guide or angel getting in touch, hold a relaxed state and tune in and listen. All right, electronic effect and interference. Living in the world we do, electronic interference is just simply unavoidable. Mobile phones, televisions, Wi-Fi, power supplies, transformers, and so on, they are all here to stay. The good news is we can coexist in harmony. Ringing in the ears can occur when there is an overload of electronic interference, which we tune into with our more subtle intuitive senses. If you've been on this kind of overload, then this may be the culprit of the ear ringing you're experiencing. So here's a few steps to avoid ear ringing in these conditions. First, limit the time you spend on digital devices, computers, cell phones, and so forth. Be sure to take breaks every hour from those digital devices, even if just for 2 to 3 minutes. Create quiet time each day where you have no distractions. Again, even if just for 2 to 5 minutes. Turn your computer and cell phone completely off at night. And last, ground yourself every day by getting your bare feet on the earth. If you're not sure about grounding, then be sure to reflect back to the Grounding Yourself episode here on the Intuitive Hour for steps on how to do that. The key, though, to figuring out how to navigate this phenomenon is to tune into your intuition. Remember to ask your spirit guides for clarity and support. They're there to help you. They're your team, your spiritual team. I would also recommend, if you're not sure how to connect with your spirit guides and haven't made that formal leap into establishing that spiritual relationship, of course, visit the Spirit Guide meditation here at the Intuitive Hour as well. And as we come to a close today, I want to talk about the ear ringing and how to turn that down, techniques to quiet this so it's not constantly happening and it's turned down a notch or 2 or 3 for you. Ear ringing can be just too much at times. I do get that. So these 2 techniques should help you get a handle on that so that it's not so uncomfortable. Ear ringing should not be keeping you awake. You want to feel in charge and control. It does not have power over you. So, in technique number 1, first step is to set an intention to quiet the ear ringing. Again, you're in charge. Set that intention that you are quieting the ear ringing. Next, in a seated position with your bare feet on the ground, breathe in and breathe out several times. Then say out loud, "The ear ringing is too loud. It is now lowering to a sound that is tolerable for me." You could create your own version of statement you'd like to make, but most definitely create it with intention and state it out loud. You might also ask to turn off the ringing entirely. Now, simply let some time pass. All right, technique number 2. Imagine a gauge out in front of you. The gauge is numbered 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, whatever works for you, and it represents the volume of the ear ringing. So if your gauge is 1 to 10, 10 would be the highest volume. When the ear ringing happens the next time and feels too loud, do the following. First, take a moment to pause and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Again, you'll set the intention to turn down the ear ringing volume. You'll now watch as the gauge gradually moves down from 10 to 9 to 8 to to 7, and so on, until it reaches a noise level you're comfortable with. Simultaneously, while you're watching the gauge go down and the volume turn down, you'll say out loud, "The ear-ringing volume and pitch I hear is lowering now." As you visualize this and state this out loud, your subconscious is hearing you and must listen, no exceptions. All right, everyone. Winding down today's episode, in closing, I would just like to share with you that ear ringing is just a wonderful way to receive messages of higher insight and knowing and confirmation. It is actually a gift to help you and support you. As your psychic ability grows, you will get better and better at discerning what the ear ringing means. As this happens, you'll notice a few things. This is your confirmation you're on track. You're going to notice you have found your tribe. Like-minded souls are abound. You no longer feel alone or misunderstood. You'll notice certainty in decisions. You're now in a high vibration state as your norm. Doubt releasing. Right action present. You'll notice you're creating and expressing from a higher place. You'll notice immediate access to an intuitive insight and information. There's no longer a delay in receiving psychic intuitive insight. It's accessible at any time you choose. You'll recognize high vibration communication. What I mean by this is that you're open to source. You have a direct line to source in the higher power. You might notice channeling abilities, right words coming at the right time. There most definitely will be a sense of enhanced creativity. Writing, music, art, dance, all things creative will begin to find a way into your life. This is a wonderful thing. Welcome it in. You might notice a sense of desire for healing, healing arts, offering healing service to others. And finally, an increase in psychic functioning and healing abilities overall. You begin to receive and understand psychic information with clarity and ease, and healing abilities increase. Use this invaluable gift you have been bestowed. Ear ringing is here for you to give you insight and information as you learn more about why it's coming in and how to turn it down if you so choose. You'll have more of a sense of trust and clarity and welcoming of it. All right, everyone. As always, for any questions or comments or suggestions, feel free to reach out at mbeltran@michellebeltran.com. Thank you again for being with me here today for another episode of the Intuitive Hour. I look forward to connecting with you again ahead.
Thanks for listening to the Intuitive Hour with Michelle Beltran. If you like what you heard, please share our podcast with a friend. And be sure to visit michellebeltran.com to get Michelle's popular Develop Your Clairvoyance ebook.